October 16, 2021. The Hindu Editorial. Tackling Error. Civil society political forces must do their best to remove fear among minorities in Jammu and Kashmir. The uptick in the number of deaths of civilians, including those of the minority community after terror attacks recently, in a major setback when the number of violent incidents in the Kashmir Valley was the lowest in 5 years. Orchestrated allegedly by a shadowy force calling itself the Resistance Front (TRF), termed by security forces as being set up by the LET. The killings have resulted in fear gripping the valley's minority Hindu and Sikh communities. Notwithstanding statements from mainstream political parties and separatist organizations condemning the violence, many Kashmiri Pandit and Sikh employees abstained from work or took leave temporarily, worried about their security. This is an unfortunate outcome that calls to mind the exodus of Kashmiri Pandits due to terror attacks in the early 1990s. The reversal of this dangerous trend requires not only a reassurance of security from the government for members of the minority communities, such as the Pandits and the Sikhs, but also a commitment for solidarity with victims from the various political forces and civil society. The targeted nature of the killings by a faceless terror group suggests that its aim was to use the disquiet in the valley with the recent administrative and political measures to foment communal discord and violence. Beyond the condemnation from the polity, civil society in such situations must take the initiative to foster communal amity and to mobilize people across communities against hatred. In this regard, the recent appeals by some masjids in Srinagar requesting the public to show solidarity with the victims and to prevent the furthering of fear among Kashmiri Pandits is a welcome step indicating an intention to not let the situation deteriorate to what happened in the early 1990s. The military administration followed up with a strong crackdown on the insurgency, seeking to isolate and quell the militant network that is allegedly responsible for the attacks. While the reactions from the polity and civil society and the administrative actions by the government are necessary, they are not sufficient to restore normalcy in the valley. The suspension of the polity with the absence of an elected assembly and the stasis and alienation that had set in since the abrogation of Jammu and Kashmir's special status, its bifurcation and designation as a union territory would make the job of administration even more difficult. An immediate renewal of political dialogue to address this, along with restoration of statehood and the complete redemption of political and press freedoms, will help create the environment to isolate and tackle terror in the region. Fast forward. Gedi Shakti can cut logistics cost if it can convince all states to come on board. With the Gedi Shakti National Master Plan that he launched on October 13, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had expanded on the familiar theme that India is showing economic growth engine can find renewed momentum through major infrastructure upgrades that will cut logistics costs for industry and raise all-around efficiency. Essentially, a techno-centric administrative initiative that promises breaking in integration of 16 industries, including railways, roads, and ports through information technology, satellite mapping, and data tools. The program seeks to appeal to the national imagination as an umbrella integrator of 111 lakh crore worth of projects under the National Infrastructure Pipeline (NIP) for 2020 to 25. The importance given in the plan to railroad multimodal connectivity and higher share of freight for the railways, articulated also by Niti Aayog, has evident multiple benefits. This includes reducing the cost of logistics to GDP that has prevailed at about 14% even at the time the NDA government took office to an aspirational 8%. There is also the challenge of reducing vehicular emissions from road freight growth in order to meet climate change commitments and containing input costs due to extraordinarily high taxes on diesel. Similarly, efficiency in port operations can increase cargo handling capacity and cut vessel turnaround time. Evidently, states have a crucial role in all this, considering that key pieces of the plan such as port linkages and land availability for highways, railways, industrial clusters, and corridors depend on political consensus and active partnership. Observations in the Economic Survey for 2020-21 underscore the role of active center-state partnerships for infrastructure building. The survey projects maximum investments towards NIP sectors such as energy, roads, urban infrastructure, and railways for financial year 2021 and 22, with about 8.5 lakh crore to be invested by either side annually, besides 5.5 lakh crore per year from the private sector. There is a steep gradient to cover here, as the effects of COVID-19 continue to be felt in terms of lost jobs, depressed wages, and consumption, with foreigners are pinning their hopes on infrastructure projects for a new deal outcome that will boost jobs and demand for goods and commodities. Besides attracting major investments, significant delays to projects can often be traced to incompatible and hostile land acquisition decisions that alienate communities or threaten to violate environmental integrity. Given the center's preference for geographic information systems and remote sensing to identify potential industrial areas, policymakers would do well to reclaim lands already subjected to degradation and pollution rather than alienate controversial new parcels, convincing citizens that they stand to benefit from such grand plans through better social welfare, lower service costs, and higher efficiencies, and respecting federal boundaries while dealing with the states and other imperatives.